I started going to the Utah School for the Deaf when I was 6 years old in 1937.
During the 1930s, the Utah School for the Deaf, USD, in Ogden was a residential campus. Graduate Marion West attended school there.
It was a very old school. It was on Monroe Street and 21st Street.
Back then, all of the students wore uniforms and lived on campus during the week.
On Fridays, my mother would come and take me home for the weekend. And I lived here in Salt Lake, and the school was in Ogden. So it was about 35 to 38 miles from our home, so she would bring me home for the weekend. And then on Sunday, she would bring me back to the school.
Like today, Marion tells us so many students back then really appreciated their teachers, calling them kind, caring, and always going the extra mile to pay careful attention to the personalized needs of the students. She remembers so many of her teachers fondly, especially her first teacher.
My teacher was Miss Stanley, but we called her Miss Ethel, and this was her name sign. She had a little dimple on her cheek. She was a great teacher. She taught us many things. She taught us our colors, our shapes, and we learned how to write. And I could write all the letters by the time I was finished with my first year of school there.
One year, she went to public school, but she realized she preferred being in a school with other deaf children.
And I told my mom that I wanted to go back to the deaf school because that's where my friends were, and I could communicate with everybody. In the public school, that wasn't the case. There wasn't a lot of communicating going on with me.
Next, she attended Gallaudet University in 1949. Marion typed speeches and documents for others during college. She used an old manual typewriter, then put those typing and other skills to work for the Department of Agriculture and later the Bureau of Land Management. She also raised 6 children. Now happily retired, Marion follows JMS, a Utah School for the Deaf, in Salt Lake on social media.
I see the students at JMS on Facebook. The communication is a lot more easy with everybody because of technology.
Marion says she will always be so grateful for her education and access to communication as a deaf student.
I learned many wonderful basic things there. I learned sewing and ironing. I learned how to cook. I learned English and social studies. Many, many wonderful things that I learned there at USDB.
We loved interviewing Marion West. Utah Schools for the Deaf and the Blind now have 3 campus locations, serving 1,800 students through the state of Utah. Be sure to check out our website and follow us on social media.